Well, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folari. Let's continue. Of course, this is the season for it. We're talking about the polity, and there are as many, there's so many different opinions out there, understandably, naturally, not just about the candidates that are emerging, but even the activities of the parties themselves. And so this morning, we have a guest. He's not been for quite a while, but we're happy to have him back. High Chief Anabs Sara-Igbe. There was one time we could refer to him as a PDP chieftain, but he was just telling me before coming on here, say, no. I've left all partisan politics. I'm not in any political party. Did I get that right?
No, you're right.
Yeah, because a lot of people will see you and say, I remember Chief, and say, but you're saying, well, that's different, because now you are national coordinator of the Niger Delta SouthSouth Leaders Forum. And this itself evolved from Niger Delta Forum.
No, in Niger Delta, we have two major forums. We have the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, which I was the first spokesman, National Police Secretary and first spokesman. But I resigned from there to take over the national coordinator of the SouthSouth Elders Forum, which now is SouthSouth Leaders Forum, because this is purely the political arm of the Niger Delta. These are people, this is the body that really address the political issues without binding with ox. Okay. So I am there to represent the Niger Delta, speaking the politics of Nigeria as it affects Niger Delta.
And talking of that, what is your estimation of the politics of Nigeria? And of course, we'll come from there into the politics of Niger Delta itself. I think everybody seems to sort of be to agree that, the presidency should come to the south, wherever it is. Now, when I say, I should say by and large, because not everybody, is on board with that. But coming to the south, that would be either south-south, southeast, southwest. Just let it come to the south. Who do you think has the better claim?
Well, you see, first of all, we want this polity, the agreement we had, because I was part of those agreements in those days. And at that time, we even asked them to put in the constitution, but some said it's a gentleman agreement. It's something that will unite the country and something that will help the polity. So there is no point. Everybody agree that power must shift from south to north, north-south, north-south. Now, who are the first beneficiary of this power shift? The first beneficiary are the Southwest. The Southwest have gotten their 8 years under Obasanjo. Then it went to the north. Unfortunately, Yar'Adua died. And by accident, the SouthSouth had it. And Jonathan went for the SouthSouth. But Jonathan was not given second time to conclude the part of the SouthSouth. Despite the fact that the South-South is the bedrock, the economic rock, the foundation of this country. And as the Nigerian map is resting on the South-South. And the oil and gas that drives the economy of this country is also coming from the South-South. Jonathan, for one reason or the other, for political reason, was not allowed to go second term. After 50 years of denying us the opportunity to rule, then it went back to Buhari, who has spent 8 years. So normally, the North have completed their tenure of 8 years. So it ought to come back to the South. Now, when they come back to the South, the West have done their own. It's now left for the Southeast that has not done it and the South-South that has done half. So what do we say? Ordinarily, the Southeast would have made a strong case. But unfortunately for the Southeast, they've not been able to put their house in order. Because those of us who were born before the Civil War know what we went through. We are from Eastern Nigeria. We suffered. A lot of us died. A lot of issues came up after the war. And we expected integration. We want to be part of Nigeria. But there was suspicion whether the core Southeast, the Igbos, will be willing to agree that time. We are going slowly. They were oppressed. They were not given opportunities to really participate as Nigerians. Certain positions they're supposed to give them, we are not giving to them. until the issue of Jonathan came in and for the first time gave them chief of army staff. Now, the younger generation who never knew the dynamics started agitating for Biafra, Biafra. Biafra was a wound we are healing, and now they resurrected the Biafra. And so it now put certain persons in the country on alert. The North generally felt if the Igbos are given the opportunity, they may bring up Biafra and divide Nigeria. And so the South-South, who are also part of the former Eastern Nigeria, who are having allied, political allied with the North, stand a better chance because they believe that we need to believe in unity of Nigeria. And from historically, even the first election when NCNC, NCMC, and NPC, and the AWO group, when the last election came, no party could form a government. It was that South-South vote that was able to form the government. So that's an allied all along historically. So the South-South is saying, we know that the North may not be disposed, may not be freely disposed to give in to the East because of this fear of Biafra. So we are advising the East to please calm down the Biafra issue. We are their brothers. We are the closest to them. We have the same culture. We have the same everything.
So what you're saying is that the South-South, therefore, your region,
yes, because
has the better claim.
We have a better claim to it.
Let me bring something up because I didn't want to interrupt you,
yes.
your flow, so to speak. You said about 2, if not 3 times that unfortunately Jonathan, former President Jonathan, was not allowed, yes. And so you said that was a half. When you say was not allowed, and he was not allowed,
voted out. Was not,
so he was defeated in an election.
He was defeated, yeah. And he accepted. He accepted the defeat.
So it's the people. When Nigeria was not allowed, Nigeria people at the election.
Nigerians did not allow him. They did not vote him.
Okay.
Not individuals.
Well, okay. So he lost the election.
He lost the elections.
He had the chance.
Honorably, he left.
He had the chance.
A chance to go.
No, he had the chance to come back as president again. But Nigerians said no.
No.
And chose someone else.
Yes.
So that's different from not being allowed.
Yes.
Okay.
So the South is saying...
So you can't say not being allowed.
No. When you don't allow somebody to go...
No, because a foreigner might be watching this and hearing such an eminent person as yourself say somebody was not allowed.
Nigerians did not allow the South man.
He lost the election.
He lost the election. Let's put the language.
Okay.
And so we have an opportunity to say, okay, since Jonathan lost, we have fresh hands who can do the job. Because look at Nigeria. The leadership we have in Nigeria are only leadership who are interested in sharing. They are not interested in productivity. Because if they are interested in productivity, by now we should be having industries, we should be producing our own goods, we should be doing things.
Okay. So
even the oil and gas that we are having, we have so much gas. Today, presently, Nigeria rank among the first 10 in terms of gas. We're having over 73 trillion cubic feet of gas buried underground, and we don't know what to do with it because the people who are leading this country do not know production. They don't know how to go about these things. And so we need the younger persons, the younger generation, in any part of the country.
Any part of the country, and any party.
Any party.
Any part of the country and any party. Okay.
To come out and take over. Fortunately for us in the South-South, we have somebody that we feel is good enough. And we are prepared to present him to Nigerians any moment from this moment.
Okay.
Who is more experienced in the oil and gas production. And we believe if that is done, Nigeria will have more wealth. We have to look at the mineral resources.
I hear you.
We have to look at the mineral resources.
Chief, you have a candidate in mind that I'm thinking that the Niger Delta Elders Forum, they have in mind the person who will be released when the time is right.
We will suggest somebody to Nigeria.
Very good. You will
suggest somebody to Nigeria.
You said we agreed. In fact, we're still expecting to be joined by Otumba Jimi Lawal, but maybe as soon as he'll be joining us remotely to talk about this same subject matter. Otumba Jimi Lawal, if he can make it, actually is a PDP governorship aspirant in Ogun State. But back to here, you are non-partisan. You're just looking at the entirety of Nigeria. So maybe I could just ask your comments on the state. For instance, in the PDP, your former party, as you know, there are howls of protest that what you've just said, it's a gentleman agreement. It should come to the South. But you know there are also some heavyweights who are saying, they're not commenting on that, but they're going ahead and carrying on as if it's up for grabs. And many people are, saying, look, I thought there was a gentleman's agreement, but nothing was written. So, quote unquote, it's not law. So that's, on the one hand, that's causing a problem. Then if you look in the southeast, for instance, there's sort of turbulence in there as well when it comes to all this matter, because the presidential aspirants in the southeast are not very happy with two of their governors, according to newspaper reports, that the people who reportedly are not happy are former President Ayim, former Senate President Ayim, former Anambra Governor Obi, and the industrialist Uhuabua. They reportedly, as well as US-based Dr. Nwachukwu Anakwenze. We had him on the program, I think, last week. These people are alleging that the two governors, two of the governors in there, Ikpeazu and of Abia and Ugwuanyi, they are working against their aspirations, because they have their eye, just like the Niger Delta Elders Forum has an eye on someone that will be announced in future. They allege that their brothers, they have an eye on someone too, and so this is working against them. In fact, I think it is the River State governor. That why are they looking in that direction? Do you have any comment on all of this? Because the APC also, in case you care to question, also has its own issues. We shall come to them.
We'll
one
look at
after
both
the
sides,
other.
no problem.
Yeah. So, what do you think of that, the goings on there?
Well, unfortunately, the likes of Atiku disappointed the people of the southern Nigeria and Middle Belt, because I do remember in the last election, southern Nigeria, made up of Afenefere, Obaneze-Ndigbo, Pan-Niger Delta Forum, and the Middle Belt, resolved to give Atiku all the support he needed, because at that time it was zoned to the north. And they gave him all the support, and if you look at it, the PDP had major highest vote from the southeast and south-south, supporting Atiku. So one will expect that this time that is for the south, the likes of Atiku should be able to come out and support the south. Particularly
as a good party man?
Yes, as a good party man, and as a man who had benefited from the goodwill of the Pan-Niger Delta, Obaneze-Ndigbo, and Afenefere. Now, these are the three cultural, traditional bodies that influence the South-South, the southern Nigeria, under the leadership of Pa Ike Clark. I do remember there were a lot of issues. Even me, at the point I was not happy with what was going on. Why must we adopt somebody? But the consensus was, we give it Atiku. At that time, I was questioning my people. Do you trust Atiku? He was my friend. I had a problem with Obasanjo because of Atiku, because I felt it was being oppressed unnecessarily. So, but when I saw the way things were going, I was not too happy, but I kept quiet. All right? And today, the same Atiku could not talk to his brothers in the north to say, hey, leave it for the south. And the south, this is where we should go. That will give him more honor, more respect as a leader.
So that disappoints you?
That disappoints me, because I felt it should be a gentleman enough to say, yes, these people have stood behind me in the past. Let me now scratch their back down. That is one issue. On the issue of...
But is politics really like that? I mean...
Well, it may be like this. That's why
politics is not a church. People don't expect...
Excuse me, you want to be a leader of Nigeria, people must trust you. Leadership must go with trust. If we don't trust you, why must we give Nigeria, the wealth of Nigeria, in your hand? Whether politics, whatever it is, we must trust you to lead Nigeria. And if we cannot trust you, we cannot allow you to lead Nigeria. Because Nigeria is a big country, a giant of Africa, and we look for people we can trust, we can take Nigeria to the next level. Nigeria started with several other countries, and they're far ahead of us. They're backward. So if you are a good leader, you might support somebody and bring the ideas that will lift us to G20, G7, and so that's what Nigeria needs. And so you are not doing that. You are not saying it must either be you or nothing. That is not politics. That's not a good one. Leave that. Back to the East. Like I said, the East Southeast need to put their house in order. They are not working as a team. You see, the difference between the Southeast and the SouthSouth. The Southeast leadership is not in control. The Owanes Indigbo is not in control. Unlike the SouthSouth, you can see Pandef can say, hey, stop, and everybody stop. So Pandef is in control. We may have our disagreement, but publicly, you don't see people coming to say, no, Pandef is this, Pandef is that. All right? The moment our leader, Clark, says this is how it should go, everybody follows. Except few political interests may come to know, but you cannot come out to challenge him.
Okay.
That is the difference between us. And in the North, they don't also control their people, because the Boko Haram issue would have been controlled. In the South, we had this issue when our boys were rampant, they were doing all kinds of things, Avenger and so on. And we came together and said, look, stop. And they stopped. They listened to our leadership.
By the way, since you're going that direction, do you have any thoughts on the Southwest?
The Federal has been there.
Okay.
The Federal is there, although they are the rebellious people who don't listen to the likes of the leaders of Federal.
Okay.
These are the product of Awolowo. Because I worked for Awolowo. I worked with Awolowo. As a young man, Awolowo started his campaign in my village, in the second term campaign, because of the relationship we had. I contested that UPN. Okay, and those of you, the leadership of UPN are still in Afenefere. I expected that when they speak, people should listen. But politicians, because of power, they don't listen. But yet, they respect Afenefere. Right?
Okay. Okay.
So, in the East, the boys are now saying they want to Biafra, IPOP, and so on. The same thing happened in the South, when they say, oh, we need emancipation of Niger Delta. We want our Niger Delta region. We want a Niger Delta state. And the leader says, stop. And they stopped. So the East need to put their house in order.
Okay, in that direction.
Yes.
That's
Let me also come again. You see, the West, one thing I love the West, politically they advance. They can fight.
The Southwest.
The Southwest. After they will fight for politics, after elections, you see them coming together and develop themselves. Today, they are the most developed region in Nigeria, because they understand the game. So if they have done this...
When you say they understand the game...
They understand the game
you're talking about their political elite.
Yes.
You know, and because you connect that political elite with something that you've also emphasized since we started this conversation. You spoke about trust. You say it's because people don't trust each other. This matter about trust, really, what are your thoughts on whether or not politicians can be trusted? Because politicians, as you and I know, from 1960 have been promising and have not been able to fulfill those promises. And here we come now, and we're talking about trust. Are you surprised that the people generally don't trust politicians, and these are people that must come to them?
Well, whether we like it or not, for you to put your vote, for you to cast your vote, you must know that this person you're voting for will do your job, will do a service. Otherwise, you don't need to vote for the person. You have an opportunity to vote for some other person. So for you to say this is the person we are voting, it means you have confidence in that person. If the person might betray you, if the person might betrays you, then there's another time will come.
Okay, so
and
you
say, look, I don't want to vote this. I don't want to vote for this man, because our voting right, our card, is our franchise, our right to say this is how we want the country to be, or this is how we want our state to be, or this is how we want our local government to be. Now, back home, as to whether they have interest in River State governor. Politics, anybody can have interest. All right? But again, as a person, I would say, or as SouthSouth leaders, we will say, who are the people who are contesting for the presidency? Who are they? What was their background? Have they ever worked before? Or they just jump into government, become government officials for this number of years, 1999 to now, eating government money, spending government money, and become mega rich for doing nothing? What is their salary as governors, or as ministers, as local government chairmen, that will make them so rich, mega rich, to say they want to become president? What is the antecedent? Look at the Niger Delta. We are blaming Nigeria for not attending to Niger Delta, but what of the governors? The 13% derivation that is meant for the oil-bearing communities, is it getting to them? The answer is no. As we speak, the oil-bearing communities are still living in squalors. They are living without health centers, no water, no school, no electricity, no jetty, and they are having 30%, which somebody is taking.
Which somebody is taking, and we've been saying for a long time that the governors in that area, the people of that area do have their issues, but what have the governors, what have they actually done with the revenue that has been allocated to them?
No, we have told them only them accountable. And the time is coming. The time of reckoning is coming. That we are going to hold them accountable for what they have done with our money. There are a lot of crooks who just go in the name of governance and taking our public fund and spend it as if it is their own. And that is why this time we want somebody who has demonstrated capacity without government fund.
Who will then be supported
who has been able to provide water, who has been able to build schools, who has been able to provide health centers or hospitals, who has been able to provide this across the country.
In short, okay.
Across the country, not only the Niger Delta. Who, if you go to Sokoto, to Borno, there are water projects, there are schools, there are roads, there are hospitals. You go to Enugu, water project. You go to the River State, water, electricity, roads. If you go to the...
No, are you talking of any one person?
Of course, and we have somebody.
Who has such reach.
Yes, we have such reach. Who's also experienced in the oil and gas.
Okay.
Who has been producing oil and gas. And when he gets the wealth, he did not use it to enrich himself, but he used it to build institutions that will help the common man across Nigeria.
Okay.
And that is the kind of person Nigeria, the South Elders would like to present to Nigeria.
Okay.
And that person we know is called Engineer Tein Jacris.
Okay.
Of the Belema oil.
Okay.
He has been helping, even in the Southwest. He has been helping people. You go to the North, the old Northerners will tell you, this man is like Abiola. I remember I went to one of the states in the North, and they said, this man has surpassed Abiola in his philanthropy. If somebody is doing that with his personal money, with his added resources, whichever way, as a private sector, what will you do when you become a president? So really, that is why you've come out, Chief, because I was saying that I've not seen you in quite a while. This is why you have come out, actually. Of course. There's a candidacy that you wanted to promote. No. That's what's about Nigeria now. But you've dovetailed it away from Nigeria into one person. Look, let me come. There are others too who have similar things, who have done that. Anybody who has demonstrated this kind of feat in Nigeria, got across the country, not selfish. Not because it's from my area. Okay. Not because I know him. But if somebody else, when Abiola came, we have this North-South relationship. But Abiola case, we voted Abiola, everybody throughout the country voted Abiola, because Abiola touches life everywhere. And we have another Abiola has come to do the same thing Abiola was doing. And that is Tein Jacris. Ask anybody. Ask anybody in Sokoto, what has he done? Go to Gombe, go to Benue. Go to every part of the Niger, the North. Okay. Go and ask. Kaduna, Kano, everywhere ask. He has set up major projects that you can see, physically see. Okay. That is the kind of Nigerians I think Nigerians will look for. Now, so any party, whether PDP or APC, if you grab somebody like that, you know that at the end of the day, Nigerians will support the person. And not the intrigues of the party that you select the good ones out and bring wicked people to punish Nigeria. We don't need wicked people to punish Nigeria. I've established that, as you were coming, we'd like to see. But let me say, you just see the comment. When I come out, when there is a war, the old oars that are kept are brought out. Those old war oars, when they are brought out, they will come and do the war in a manner with experience. Okay. So we are now coming not just to talk grammar, not just to come and talk politics. I've given analysis of somebody who has been doing this kind of thing. And part of the analysis you've given us is that it must seem to you that everybody can see that it is the South-South, whereas there are those who are campaigning with, an equally loud voice that it is the South-East if we're going to be fair. If Nigeria is going to be fair. And of course, the South-South is saying that we're here too. Even if the South is bringing somebody, let them bring somebody younger generation. Because there's a paradigm shift. Anywhere from now, We need younger persons who are today. If you have a children today, they understand the television more than you. They understand that if your phone, give your phone to your children. They know how to play with it. They use the phone more than you. They are more inclined technologically. They know how to run technology, the country with technology. We want people who are young, people of lower than 50 years, from 50 years below.
I hear you,
It's
Chief.
what Nigeria needs now as a paradigm shift. Nigerian youths, not too young to rule, should take over the country and rule Nigeria.
Chief, since you've gone there, like I was ambushed a bit, tell me the name of that person that you are promoting right now.
The name of them, I'm not just promoting, I'm just saying it generally. I said the likes of Tay Jackeries should be given opportunity in either of the party to rule this country. Okay. Because they have demonstrated goodwill.
All right. And you were just explaining how he's one hell of a philanthropist.
Of course, as a philanthropic.
Whose hands are seen all over.
Free. He has touched lives.
Beyond his own.
But let me tell you one thing with this boy. Let me tell you one thing with this man that is significant. This man has no building of his own all his life. In his village, in the city, anywhere he's staying, he has no building of his own. But every money he has, he put it on humanity. He built houses for people.
Chief, we're going to have to generalize this conversation a bit.
Yes.
But in the meantime, let me just say that Otumba Jimi Lawal, he's been able to join us, as I said, via Zoom. A fine morning to you, Otumba Jimi Lawal.
My brother host, Yori, pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much for letting me in.
Indeed.
And let me also say very good morning to all the listeners and your current speaker. Even though I disagree with most of what he's saying.
Indeed, I knew, and that's why I have to come to you. You're talking about Chief Anabs Sara-Igbe. Thank you very much. Okay, you were saying that you've been listening to Chief, because the way the conversation was structured, we're looking at the emergence of aspirants from all over the place, all over the country, different aspirants, as you know. There's a lot of talk out there, but he was concentrating on the South, the turn, it being the turn of the South to produce the presidency. You were saying that you disagree with some of, if not a lot, of what he's saying. What are those disagreements, sir?
Okay, look, let me just focus. Thanks, my brother Yori. Thank you very much. I want to thank Chief. I also want to thank the listeners. But let me just highlight 3 issues of what I've heard that are fundamentally against my principles and philosophies of existence in life. The first is this concept of zoning. I think Nigeria should get to a point where we put our best foot forward. It shouldn't be a case of where you come from, whether you're from the South or from the North. Of course, you want to have a balance. You want to ensure that power does not always reside in the north or south of the country, but we should de-emphasize zoning and place more emphasis on competence, on capability, on preparedness, on experience, on character. Those are the issues of which good leaders are made of, not of where they come from, not their religion, not their ethnicity. So that's my first fundamental principle of leadership and of life.
Otumba, excellent. Thank you for that. But how about the unwritten agreement, in the PDP, that this is indeed a more equitable way to go to make sure that there's inclusiveness? You are saying that, be that as it is, you don't really buy into it. Just for example, as Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, former vice president, seems to have indicated by his action.
Look, my brother, I'm not a big fan of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, former vice president, but that's not the issue. The issue here is let those who are going to compete to be the president of Nigeria come out, and let's choose the best leader on the basis of competence, character, experience, and qualification, rather than the fact that Atiku Abubakar is from the north or is not from the north, or Chief is from the south, or Jimi Lawal is from southwest. That shouldn't be the first yardstick for electing a leader. That's the point I keep saying.
Okay, I get you there.
And as regards the issue of unwritten agreement, yes, they are important. They shouldn't be ignored. They shouldn't be overlooked. But ultimately, Nigeria's constitution should be respected and should be obeyed. The constitution has made provisions as to how our leaders should emerge, and whatever unwritten agreement should be subjugated to the constitutional provision of Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for the way you explain it, Otumba. But since it seems to be already agreed, even if there are individual, disagreements with it individually, since it is the party only that can indeed grant the any aspirant the ticket, and if they are operating with that mindset, effectively we're stuck with it until something better can be thought of and indeed be written down in stone, so to speak. So the party is going to, the party, whichever the party is, it might be APC, it might be PDP, they're going to be operating on that at a convention. And probably will not, I don't know, do you think they shouldn't attend to those who are coming via the generally agreed principle of zoning that you said you find odious?
My brother, look, I'm not sure that the party had said that. There was a committee that the party set up, led by Governor Otom of Benue State, and to the best of my understanding, the conclusion recommendation is to throw the presidential issue open. Okay, that's what I understood they said. But if the party, in its wisdom, believes that it should be zoned, fine. But where do you stop? Are you going to zone to the south, which includes the southwest, southeast, and south-south? Or are we going to zone to southeast? So these are the issues. I keep saying that, yes, you can zone, but zoning is secondary, in my opinion. It's to ensure there is a balance. Okay. But the priority should be who is best capable, who is best prepared, who has the best character and the best experience. Nigeria is bleeding. Nigeria is like a very, very sick patient that's undergoing hemorrhaging. Okay, let's get the best doctor to attend to Nigeria, not where your doctor comes from. If you go to a hospital, to a clinic, and you're not well, are you going to insist on a doctor coming from SouthSouth to treat you? This is my point. No.
All right.
You want the best qualified doctor at the time in the hospital you are in, or perhaps even a referral to the best doctor should be the one to attend to you, not a doctor from SouthSouth or Southeast or Southwest. That's the point I'm making.
All right.
We're in a dire strait in the country, and we need the best capable person to lead Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Otumba. So there's a lot where he's on the same page with you, especially in terms of let's go for quality.
I agree with you, but Sara-Igbe, I disagree with him.
Okay.
You see, Nigeria is at the crossroad. We have crisis in Nigeria now. And for us to manage this crisis, we have to go back to 1999. 1998, 1999. You see, 1998, 1999, there was this issue of Abiola's death and the crisis was there. And Nigeria wanted peace to return. And what did we do? We said, zone it to the place where the crisis is coming from, Abiola is coming from. And all the parties, we had Obasanjo and Falaye. Nobody argued. And it went. And Obasanjo was picked. Peace immediately returned to Nigeria. We are still in the same situation where the Southeast said they are going, the Southwest says they are going, the North, in the northern part, the banditry, the Boko Haram, everywhere is scattered. We need somebody to heal the wound. And we are saying zoning is no longer important to heal this wound. I can assure you today, if a South-South man emerges, the Southeast will be happy, even though they are injured. The South, the Yorubas too, will be happy that the Southern has come. That is one aspect. I was a foundation member of PDP. I came into PDP with G34 as the Southern minority, and we formed PDP. And in the constitution of PDP, zoning is one of the major components of PDP constitution. It is because of this zoning that the South revolted against Jonathan that led to his losing the election. Because when they gave Wike without zoning to the appropriate quarter, the riverine area, and Jonathan and his wife decided to bring another Ikwere man after Mechi, the people revolted and they started making noise. When the rat in the house come to say there's food, the outside rat comes in. It gave courage to the outside to say, oh, if his people are fighting him, let us fight him. We need zoning. Even in the federal constitution, we have a section where we said things should be shared equally. All right? In the constitution. And we're saying zoning, they call it, there's a name they call it, what they call it, I'll come to it. Zoning is something that goes round. And if the Constitution so recognizes...
It's supposed to be a power sharing agreement.
Yes, if the Constitution so regard that power, offices must be shared to all the sections of this country equally, then zoning is part of the capping of it. That look, if this section has ruled, let you go to the other section in the interest of peace and development. Because you cannot say that a particular section of this country do not have competent hands. Every section of this country have competent hands.
Indeed.
Southwest has competent out, Northwest has competent out, Northeast, North-South, South, everybody has competent hand. We are saying bring your best for Nigeria to choose. I have just laid the foundation of people, the characters we're looking at, those who are competent. And we are also saying that there must be a paradigm shift. The whole world is going through paradigm shift where we need the youth, the younger ones, to take over. How old was General Gowon when he became president? We saw how he ruled. How old was Babangida when he became president? We saw the way he ruled. In Rivers State, Spiff was a very young man, and what he did today, nobody has done it. Okay. So we need the youthful people, the young people, to take over. So the youths will be part of it. We have got children, we have trained them, we have brought them up, we are old. Okay, today, if you make me a governor, I wouldn't accept.
Okay, now, what, as you've said, you are talking here about the presidency,
yes,
for instance.
Down to the states.
Down to the states,
yes,
where Otumba Jimi Lawal, he is interested in the states. In fact, I introduced him as an aspirant in his native Ogun state, although you also are working very closely with the governor of Kaduna State as an advisor. What are your impressions on your party's internal mechanism vis-a-vis your aspiration, your ambition?
My brother Yori, sorry, just before I address your last question, let me make a couple of comments. First is that I was a senior advisor and counselor, as well as chairman of Kaduna State Economic Development Council. Emphasis was rather than is. I have since resigned in accordance with the Electoral Act 2022 and in pursuit of my gubernatorial ambition. So I think I should make that clear to the public. That's number one. Number two, the other point that Chief just made, my brother Chief just made, as regards this youth, I'm uncomfortable with that point, if not even more than I was uncomfortable with the issue of zoning. In life, you need the wisdom of the old combined with the agility of the youth to have a good leader. To keep saying youth because of General Gowon, because of that, it's not the way to go. You have to have the right balance. It's the same position I've taken on the issue of zoning. The first thing is the qualification, competence, experience of the person that wants to lead before where the person comes from. The same thing here. What is the issue of wisdom? What is the issue of competence? What's the issue of experience? Above youthful agility, in my opinion. So now back to your question. The question as to the position of my party.
Yes.
I think the most important requirement for any party that is worth its salt is internal democracy. Okay? If you have a party where you have a level playing field for the emergence of candidates, that party will prosper because the best will emerge rather than where people are just handpicked or where people are zoned out. We have to be careful in Nigeria. This concept of where people come from, what's their religion, what's their ethnicity, for me, in my opinion, is just a ploy by the elites to grab power. Okay? Nigerians intermarry easily. Nigerians, many Nigerians don't have a particular ethnicity. So if you say somebody is South-South, okay, I happen to have a wife from the North. My child or children, what are they? Are they from the South or are they from the North? We happen to be, to claim paternalistic and claim our father's place of birth, okay? But in Ghana, it's the other way around. They follow their maternal lineage. So I don't think it's right to always push these accidents of birth ahead of competence, qualification, character, and experience.
Okay.
That's the point.
One moment, please. One moment, please, Otumba. Chidi in Kafanchan has phoned in and wants to join the conversation. Good morning to you, Chidi.
Good morning, sir. Uncle Yori, how is today?
Thank you very much for calling in, sir.
Good morning to your guests.
Yes.
I want to appeal to Nigerian political gladiators. The way the things are in Nigeria today, when we talk about security, vis-a-vis our economic situation, it is quite paramount that we should think about the very best person, irrespective of where he or she may come from, irrespective of which political platform he or she is representing. But we should look for who can be able to unify Nigeria. Nigeria is actually a sick person that is an intensive care unit, as it were. And we need somebody whom God will use in terms of a human being like us to assist Nigeria to cross this very crossroads. Thank you very much, and God bless Nigeria.
Indeed. Thank you very much, also, Chidi, for the point.
Let me just comment first. The PDP has a constitution,
yes,
which is the law. If you cannot obey your constitution, you see, these days we don't have parties. Because when we started party in the 80s, 70s, we had the issue of manifesto of the party. What do you want to do? What is your constitution? What is your manifesto? This is no longer important to Nigerian politicians now. Otherwise, if a party has a constitution that says this is how we will govern the party, along the line you shift the goalpost and say zoning is no longer important in the party. Things are not done that way. We have federal character in the constitution, which spell out how the appointments and things should be done, just to unify this country. We have competent, and today, let's be honest to ourselves, at our age, we cannot play with the technology. Our time is gone. We are only living today. We are going to advise the younger generation. Let us advise. We have children. We have children we can advise. Let me tell you something.
You see,
how about
the point that was made by Otumba there, and it has also been made outside there, that this whole matter about insisting on the youth for the sake of it, I
have told you before, we need competent hands. We need people who have sympathy. We need people who can take Nigeria to the next level.
Whereas those competencies might reside in some youths, they don't reside exclusively there.
In one particular region.
They don't reside exclusively there.
They are everywhere.
Yeah. Competency could be in a middle-aged person, in a young person. So we're saying that,
let me tell you another example. When in Bayelsa, before Lamesia became governor, there was no road to Amasoma. And as soon as he became governor, he built road to Amasoma. And all of that access opened up. In Rivers State, for example, the upland has been ruling. The riverine ruled and allowed all the projects to be in the upland. But since after 1999, the no riverine has ruled. There are no, and they are producing oil from the river. Most of them are coming from the riverine area. There are no projects, nothing to do. The other area that is producing oil like the riverine area is the Sara-Igbe in Doni. Yet, there are no development there because the people are not there. So if it is zoned and your particular son comes into power and did not develop your people, fine. In River State, for example, Wike came, is building bridges in his local government. All the flyovers are in his local government because it's from there. And we'll tell you in tongue if you like.
Yeah, but that's not the way to govern.
Yeah, of course, that is what we're saying, because he has gone there and is laughing at everybody. So if today we now say, okay, get the best in their own area, let them compete within the area, Nigerians will now look at the people from different areas so that they will not complain.
All right.
We cannot complain when you don't allow all the other people to rule. You oppress them. Party politics does not produce the best.
What you seem to be saying is that you're
talking about
widening the basket, widening the choice of the basket.
Then the money bags takes over.
Okay,
the money bags takes over.
Mazi Okorafo in Aruchuku, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, High Chief, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I'm happy to see you. But I want to find out from you now. You have seen what is happening now in Nigeria. Is it wise for a sitting governor to be contesting? Why am I asking this question? I'm asking this question because I was expecting sitting governors, whether they do, to wait. When they finish their tenure, they come to the office. Because as a sitting governor, you could be using the state money to do campaign, which is not healthy. And you know, in some states, some governors have not paid workers' salaries. They have not paid, like my father, my mother, my brothers and sisters, they have not collected their pension up to about 18 months, some 19 months, some 20-something months. You see, now we have seen what is happening now in terms of insecurity. We saw what happened in Plateau State, what happened in Benue State. Is it not the high time for sitting governors to sit down, face the reality of life, arrange themselves, arrange the states, so that by 2023, the incoming government will come in a very clean slate. We have seen what is happening in Russia, between Russia and Ukraine. Is it healthy? Because
all right, Mazi, thank you very much. I'm going to have to sort of come in, forgive me for doing so, because we've almost run out of time. I do want this question answered. And in fact, keep your gunpowder dry. I'm going to come back to you in studio because I want to go to Otumba Jimi Lawal to look at the questions that Mazi Okoroafor put up. Principal among which was, did he think it was wise for a sitting governor to also be throwing his hat in the ring, and those kind of questions?
Yes, it's a big yes. Yes.
It's okay.
An elected official, be it a governor, be it a vice president, be it deputy governor, should be free in accordance with Nigeria's constitution to contest election just like anybody else who is not in elective office. It is the appointed officials that should not have that kind of liberty. So it's a constitutional matter, it's a matter of the law, Electoral Act, and we should respect our law.
Okay.
That's what the law says. I don't agree that a sitting governor should not be allowed to contest. No way. It's not right. Okay? As regards abuse of office, it doesn't matter if you're a sitting governor or you're a commissioner, you're a minister. If you abuse office, you have committed a crime. You should be investigated and prosecuted for that crime. That has nothing to do with your ability to contest election. No. The same thing I would like to say, please, on this point that my brother Chief continues to hammer on about the fact that if you have leaders, the leaders will only take care of its own section of the country or of the state to the exclusion of the others. Those are bad leaders. They're not leaders. I'm sorry to say. Okay, this is why people are asking for zoning. Zoning because you have a bad leader. Any good leader should have equal concern for all the citizens in his domain. You shouldn't go and do just because you're from riverine area, you're not from riverine, you cater for those who are in your local government, then you're a bad leader. If you are the president of Nigeria, only catering for the north, you're a bad leader.
Okay. Otumba, forgive me, I got to interrupt you too. As I said, we've almost run out of time, but I want to thank you very much, Otumba, because at least we got your impression on that particular issue, which I'm going to bring to Chief Sara-Igbe now. As you were saying, as I was saying, the Otumba Jimi Lawal is the Ogun State PDP governorship aspirant, and if everything goes according to plan, indeed, as the primaries, you present yourself to the electorate. Thank you very much for coming on our program, sir.
Thanks, Jory. I appreciate you.
All right, then. And so, now, Chief, because we're in studio now, you just heard that that's not the way to govern, and that's the old way. What, in closing now, because you said that we have to find a particular person, merit has, you've said that zoning could play as well.
Let me quickly answer the man who called. Constitutionally, those elected people are given mandate of 4 years. That mandate will expire before they can leave. They cannot resign. That's the law. So, governor, senators, House of Rep members, assembly members, the law allows them to contest election while they are still in office. That resolves that. On the issue of the zoning, Nigerians have started a principle. You cannot change the goalpost in the middle of the match. We must continue with that zoning in the interest of peace
Okay.
and tranquility.
You know, I'm happy.
As by competence,
Yes.
I have demonstrated we have competence all over the place.
Indeed.
And today, the SouthSouth, as a competent person, we are going to present to you, who is competent enough to be able to satisfy all.
You return to the point.
If you go to the north,
I've got to leave it here.
The north
I
will buy
really
it,
must
the south will
run
buy
away
it,
now.
the west will buy it,
Chief
everybody will buy it.
Anabs,
Thank you very much for the
Sara-Igbe.
opportunity given to me.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you very much. And that is our program, rushed ending as it is. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folari. Bye-bye for now.